Warning: this program contains frank, mature discussions intended to educate and advocate on the subjects of sexuality, sex, and gender and body positivity. Due to the nature of the topics being discussed, this may include subject matter and language that some may find offensive. This program is intended for adults only. If you are under the age of 18, if such material offends you, or if it is illegal to view such material in your community, please exit now.
Brown chicken, brown cow. 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 This is fun. Brown chicken, brown cow. Brown chicken, brown cow. Welcome to the Brown Chicken, Brown Cow Show. I am Sean Monkey Mackany. Welcome to our month on polyamory. I am sitting here with two of my fantastic co-hosts, amazing Jessi.
Oh, the amazing Jessi? I like that.
You don't have
Can
a
we
cape
keep
on
that?
today, but you know.
I decided to forgo the cape, but
Yeah,
maybe next time.
maybe next time.
Yeah.
And who do you have to your right?
We have Laura, fancy Laura.
Fancy
Fancy,
Laura.
yes. I wore my fancy clothes today, as you can see.
You look great. I like all the cat hair. It's perfect.
This isn't even cat hair
I
this
see
time.
what you
This
did
is
there.
dog hair.
Perfect.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but it just happened. So we're gonna roll with it. Anyway, so glad to be here.
So we're talking about polyamory today.
We are. It's gonna be great. I feel really good about it.
Monkey's already melted down
Feeling
today,
pumped.
so we're good for the day.
We literally started this segment with Monkey already blushing, so it's just everything's going downhill today.
I actually think it's still continuing. I think we were just going to bump up the blush meter another one, so
Great.
good for you.
There it goes. Great, thanks.
3. We're already at 3.
We're
We
at
are
3,
1
2 minutes
minute
in, yeah.
into this segment.
Yeah, that's great.
So.
All right, so yeah, we're talking about polyamory, and there's a lot of different types of polyamory. Everybody practices it.
Everyone.
Everyone has a different.
Everyone
I have a different
practices it.
polyamory than my partner, so you know.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
I have no clue.
I feel like you do. I feel
might.
like you've
might.
been doing poly for a while.
For a little while.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I've been poly for I think 8 or 9 years, something like that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I got my little star.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
I'm so excited to
it's
get my
one of those
star.
little foil ones you get in the 2nd grade, but it's fantastic.
I didn't get a foil thing in the 2nd grade. I feel really left out.
I didn't know we got awards for our
our
relationship
poly.
preferences.
Exactly. So let's talk about who we're going to have on the show today.
Absolutely. We've got a lot of very cool guests on the show. We have Christina H. We have I just thought I would give it some zest.
Maybe we can talk about what we're going to talk about rather than our guests. Might be easier.
Let's do that.
Maybe that.
Laura?
Cool. So I think we're going to talk about a lot of different types of polyamory. We're going to look at, what is solo polyamory, what type of living arrangements might polyamorous people have, what are some of the challenges of being polyamorous and having kids, probably other things that I can't think of.
Probably other things will be talked about, yeah.
So many polyamory things. Like there are so many ways to do polyamory.
It's true. Lots
Yeah.
of flavors of
You
polyamory.
have bees
Gotta
and
be on the show.
triads and quads and quints and
Octagons.
octagons. A lot of people call them polycules.
Yeah, they do. I refer to my polycule as a polycule.
Yeah.
So there's that.
And then we also have music coming on today.
We do. We have Eddy and Rose. They are
Eddy and
back singing some songs with us today. So
Yeah,
we're
I actually
excited to
had a
have
chance to
them
go out
back
to their
on.
studio and interview them, so that's coming up
Oh,
too.
very cool. Oh, I'm excited to hear from them. Great. We've got a pretty cool show going on today. I'm excited for this topic.
We're definitely not defining anything. You're just going to have to Google it, right?
Well, speaking of defining and Googling, we don't really have to do that.
What a convenient segue.
Thank you. Because fortunately, we also have the BCBC spelling V.
Yes.
Spelling bee? Is that what we're calling it?
V.
Guys, I need you to let me know whenever we're having really catchy things.
When we're
just
punning?
names. Yeah, I need all puns to be authorized.
But we really like watching you be surprised by things, so
So
that's fair.
And it's going to be Jessi,
Yes.
Miss Laura,
I don't know how to spell, so I'm sorry.
and the Master David.
Oh my gosh.
Probably going to
So
win.
the three of you are going to be competing to see who has the best spelling prowess.
Well, as we saw with Sex Pretty, I get pretty competitive, so
You get competitive at sex.
well, not what I said, but I'm just going to leave that statement there. You can decide if it's true. Could that be like a sport, competitive sex?
I think somebody could make a competitive sport if they really wanted to.
Food for thought.
Food for thought, yeah.
Score 1 out of 10.
Oh,
Scored 1 out of 10.
Oh, God.
Wow. He's
not
holding,
good.
up, he's holding up panels now. It's like from the Russian judge over there, speaking of the Olympics. Anyway, so
Were we speaking of the Olympics?
I don't know. I've completely derailed this, but I think we can get back on track because
Probably not.
we can take a real quick break. And when we come back, who are we interviewing?
that's a great question, Monkey. I believe we're interviewing Robert and Sabrina, and they're going to talk to us about polyparenting.
You're doing that
Yeah, I'm doing it
because you're you,
because I'm me.
and I'm me.
I think.
Goo.
What? You okay? You okay today?
I don't
Just
know.
checking up on you. I'm concerned.
I am still flushed. I'm still blushing, I think.
Can
That's,
we add
Probably
another?
4. It's probably 4 right now.
I want to say it's 4, maybe 5.
Possibly 6.
oh,
The madam's shaking her head no.
no, see?
Well, after 8, it's 8.
It's a continuous.
That sounds about right. So
See, I don't know if the audience knows. We have a huge audience here today.
it's huge.
It's huge.
It's a lot.
Huge. And they are experiencing the blushing for the first time. So what it is anytime I get blushed, we actually add a number to the monkey blushometer.
Hashtag get blushed.
That's gonna
Sorry,
stay
that was
around.
just there.
So you want to take us out?
I will totally take us out.
You're coming right back, right?
Oh yeah, I will be back in a second interviewing Robert and Sabrina about polyparenting. So
All right.
we'll be right back.
Thanks.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Brown Chicken Brown Cow podcast and Vodcast. Welcome back. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jessi, and here with me today we have 2 very awesome guests who are actually, I'm very excited to have them both on. We have my partner, Robert, and his wife, Sabrina, my metamor. You should tune into the spelling V, which I assume later might contain the word that I just used. Maybe. I can't predict the future. Anyway, we're here to talk to them about a really important topic. And our stage manager, Ayn, is very interested in hearing all about this because she just approached us about it. It's polyparenting. So we're here to talk about their experiences being polyparents and what it's like. So thank you guys so much for coming on, first of all. Tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, we've been together for 12 years. 12 years. We've been married almost 10. In May, it'll be 10. Yay.
Happy early anniversary.
Yeah, thank you. We have 2 beautiful daughters, 8 and 6, I think, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
And
We've
you
been
know,
poly
basics.
for about 2.5 years.
Awesome. Okay. So I feel like when I talk to people about poly, probably the first thing that I hear is people saying, how do you do that? How do you manage the time? I can barely handle one partner. But I feel like when you add kids to the mix, it's just a lot more complicated. So can you tell me just how you juggle polyamorous life with being a parent?
Scheduling, Google Calendars.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not easy, especially because we don't want to take time away from our kids, obviously. You know, we want to keep them as a priority. So we definitely do a lot of dating after they go to bed in order to still try to maintain a schedule and a routine for them. It has helped that now that we have both had partners that we've had for a while, so that we can incorporate them into our lives and
We kind of have a rule where we don't let the kids really interact or meet new partners until it's been about 6 months. I mean, just so that they don't see like the turnover or the, you know.
Important to establish some boundaries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So luckily we both have very established relationships, and as you know, and it makes it a little bit easier because we can have them around when the kids are awake, and you know, we can start forming those kind of relationships and bonds and stuff that come along with that.
That's great. So I'm wondering, you recently came out to your kids. How was that, and how did you feel about it?
It was nerve-wracking.
it was kind of awkward at first
It was.
because we didn't
Yeah.
really know how to get the conversation flowing because
Right.
they're young and we wanted to keep it in context for them.
Yeah. How did you do that, if you don't mind me asking?
We started the conversation because we have 2 girls, so we just started the conversation with a conversation about consent,
because it's something that we feel should always be a conversation. And we just talked about that kind of led into different types of relationships that people have. And we were very vague. I mean, our kids are young, they have no sexual context. So it was more just about us explaining to them that we have a very open family and that we want to be open to anybody that we feel is important to us, and that
we use it as a kind of a learning tool, also for the many different types of relationships that are out there, and kind of broadening their
their perspective.
Their
on it?
perspective, yeah, because really growing up, out where we are and stuff, it's very heteronormative. So we like to try and give them a little more experience and a little more perspective whenever we can.
That's great. Did the conversation go well?
It did.
Yeah, it did. It took a turn finally and started flowing, and it was interesting just because it just shows how innocent they are, that they don't have any preconceived notions,
Right.
and so it was fun to just see how open and excited they were to have the conversation with us.
That's really great. It's cool that you were able to talk to them about it while they're kind of young, getting it in there early. That's really cool. So we kind of touched on this a little bit, but what is it like raising kids in a society where polyamory is not really widely known yet or widely accepted?
It's a little nerve-wracking, really.
Yeah.
Because
That's really the only thing really holding us back from being completely open at this point, because there is a fear of it affecting our kids. Especially, we have Facebook friends that are friends of our kids, parents of our kids' friends and that sort of thing, and we don't want our lifestyle to affect our kids' relationships, with parents not wanting their kids to come over to our house because they don't have an understanding of what our lifestyle is like. They have these preconceived notions. And so we do worry about it affecting them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's kind of a fine line to walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does having children affect your polyamory, your particular brand of polyamory?
I mean,
That's kind of a broad question.
it is kind of a broad question.
Maybe like
and
logistically.
I think we probably have different answers for this, actually.
Oh, great.
Oh, that's
Sabrina,
interesting.
do you
I
want
don't know.
to? Does
Could
one
be
of you want
wrong.
to go first and answer differently?
And then I can just agree and be like,
I think that because we have kids, they, as we were kind of deciding how we were going to do polyamory, because it's an ongoing process depending on who is in our lives at the time. But in the beginning, it was definitely a process of figuring out what was going to work for us as a family, as a couple.
Totally.
And so I think that we had to develop that in a certain way because we have kids. Whereas if we were just partners with no kids, then we would have had a lot more variety in how we could have established our way of doing polyamory.
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, having kids, I think, is a little bit inhibiting. I think might be the right word. But it's not bad. I don't know.
It just makes things a little bit more tricky
A
sometimes.
little bit more tricky. Yeah, I think a lot of the things that we've already touched on, like we have to wait until after they go to bed, or one of us needs to stay home while the other one goes out on a date, or we need to have partners who are okay with coming home, coming to our home, after the kids go to bed, and just kind of like being a little low key and chill for a little while and
Not
stuff.
living that wild single life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have any advice for polyamorists who are thinking about having kids, or people with kids who are thinking about becoming polyamorous?
I don't really like to give advice.
Do you have any maybe wisdom that you could share that you've learned now that you've been practicing poly for a while with kids?
Yeah, I mean,
I think that since we've started being honest with our kids, and once we sat down and had that real conversation with them, things have gotten a lot easier for us because we did not want them to ever pick up on a feeling of us doing something taboo or wrong, and that was difficult when we couldn't be honest with them about what we were doing.
For sure, I hear you. Totally hear you. Go on.
So now that we've been able to have that conversation and we can just say, I'm going over to so-and-so's house, or, multiple different ways that we're able to be honest with them now at an age-appropriate level, obviously. It's been very helpful.
yeah, I think really what I would say is spend a lot of time. I think it might be easier for people who are already polyamorous, who are deciding to have kids, because you already have a feel for what your form of polyamory is going to be, and you're going to be able to kind of like gradually, the kids will just grow up with it and it'll be normal, and it will be what it is. But people who already have kids like us and are thinking about opening up and becoming polyamorous, really think about like all of the consequences and all of the possibilities and all of the ways that
Sorry, we have some of our audience members voguing in the background for no reason that I can determine. Just no reason for it whatsoever. Anyway. Oh, Ein is upset now. Our stage manager, Ein, if you are tuning in for the first time. So sorry to derail a conversation. We don't have.
That's that.
So that's that. We don't have a section about poly parenting with dogs, but maybe that's something. I'm getting a yes. That is something we can talk about later. Great. Yeah. I'm wondering. The number one thing that I always wonder about, and that I think maybe some people would want to hear about, is the sort of the logistics of it, which you've talked about a little bit more. Can we talk more about the sort of practical way to dive into just having kids full time and doing poly? Does that make sense?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, so are you talking about like how we handle
The balance.
the balance
Yeah.
between them, or maybe like how we
Yeah.
date, or
Yes, both of those
yes,
things.
all of the
Tell
things.
me more. I
all
know
of the
nothing about
things.
this.
Okay, so logistic-wise, it's actually it's funny because logistically it kind of works out where one of us can just stay home and be with the kids, and the other one can go out and we can kind of flip-flop and plan things around that.
If anything, it's hard for us to find time
For us.
to make sure that, we're getting our relationship time in, because there's nobody just home watching the kids. We have to organize it a little bit better in order to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
It takes a little more forethought.
Yeah, definitely.
true.
Definitely. Well, okay, I have one last question for you, and it is, what barnyard animal do you consider yourself to be? And I just want to say that we are a very inclusive show, and we believe in all types of barnyard animals, not just traditional heteronormative barnyard animals. So pick whichever you want. Robert, why don't you go first?
Barnyard.
Doesn't have to be barnyard.
I think I'm gonna go with the standard barnyard animal of a dolphin.
Yeah, super standard.
Yeah,
Cool,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
great. Okay, how about you, Sabrina?
I'll go with a kangaroo.
Kangaroo. This is awesome. You can have like a pouch and you can carry your two kids in there.
I like pockets.
That's great. That is a great animal to be if you like pockets.
Can I actually backtrack just a little bit?
Of course.
Is that okay?
No,
Okay, cool.
Leave.
All right, well, it's good.
no. Please do.
So being that you're one of my partners, how does me having kids affect your relationship with
Oh,
me?
I'm being
or
interviewed
us?
now. This is great. No, I think the communication is the most important part of it, which that sounds really cliche because you hear a lot of poly people talking about communication, but I think it's just, it's really important to communicate a lot more because, there are a lot of like logistical things to talk through, kind of like you two were talking about. And I think the biggest thing is just being flexible, you know, and understanding that for you, your kids come first. And I totally understand and respect that, and I wouldn't want it any other way. So I think flexibility is super helpful. Also, I get to spend time with 2 awesome kidlets, and I love that. So it's really cool.
They're all right.
They're okay. Whatever. Well, you two, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this with us. Your family is awesome, and it's really great seeing how you two parent and take care of your 2 adorable little girls. So thank you for coming on and talking about it. We are going to go to one of our sponsors now, so stay tuned, and then we're going to interview Christina H. Sorry, I just wanted to keep it consistent with how I've been saying her name. So we will be right back.
Hi guys, this is Sean Monkey McAnee, Monkey for short. You know what? If you're in town here in Sacramento, or if you're anywhere, you need to check out Midtown Moxies. They are a Sacramento burlesque troupe that is blowing my doors off. They are amazing. Generally, they have 2 shows a month. One called the Midtown Moxies and one called Moxie Crush. You need to go to midtownmoxies.com or find them on Facebook. They are amazing. They're beautiful. They're funny as hell. Trust me, I wouldn't be advertising with them if I didn't believe in them. They are freaking fantastic. Enough said. Go to midtownmoxies.com.
Hey, welcome back to the BCBC Vodcast. My name is David Loretta Mola. I am one of the hosts here, and I am absolutely pleasured to be able to introduce Monkey.
Hi.
And the person that we're introducing today is Christina H.
Christina H.
Christina H. That's what they
If
call
you're at
me.
home, please applaud. This is the appropriate time to applaud. There we go. We actually have an audience. I'm trying to take advantage of it. So, we're talking about polyamory, though, on this show. And, how long have you been associated with polyamory?
So I guess I'm relatively new to polyamory. It's been about 1.5 years. I was in a monogamous relationship with someone for 15 years, ever since I was like 18, and we did the marriage, the whole white picket fence, we had a kid, we did all that, and it just wasn't working for some reason, and I didn't understand because we were good together, we parent well together, it just didn't feel right to me, and it gave me a lot of guilt that I wasn't satisfied in what was happening. So eventually we did break up, and I spent about 3 years dating, and I never wanted to get into another relationship again because people would come up and be interested, and I'd be like, no, I don't want to be in a relationship. I need to have space and be myself. And then I found out about polyamory, and I was like, oh, what? You can have a relationship and still be an autonomous person and have other relationships with people? That's amazing. So that's kind of what brought me into it. I went on a date with someone that was polyamorous, actually, and he enlightened me to the whole world of it.
Oh, so that's where you first learned about polyamory and everything.
Yeah, I was on a date with somebody. And we're not dating. We never became partners in any sense, but we're friends. We're really good friends still. So he was a very important person in my life to become my personal growth. Oops, I probably shouldn't hit the mic, huh?
You can do whatever you want. It's okay. It's a free country.
So something you're talking about there, where you have the freedom to still be an autonomous person and be poly. I believe that's called solo poly, right?
Yes. Yes, I am solo poly. It took me about a year to kind of figure out my role or what I wanted poly to look like for me, because there's so many different kinds, as we've talked about previously. I'm solo poly, so I value my autonomy a lot. I have one partner currently, and he is also solo poly, so it works out perfectly for me right now. I have tried other things. One of the first relationships I had on polyamory was with someone who was married, and it didn't really work out well because of the aspect of primary partners is really hard for me. I don't like people having veto powers over my relationship, and that when they use that frequently in my life, then it's like, I understand that that's how you want to do your poly, and that's perfectly fine. It just doesn't work for me.
And just to follow up, a veto ability.
Yes.
You want to expand on that? just a
Sure.
little bit?
So, in some relationships with partners that have primary partners, like a hierarchy of partners, a partner may have the ability to veto someone's relationship or any activity at any time whenever they feel like it. It changes. It can be different with different relationships. So I don't want to put like a broad, like generic or generalization on it. In my experience, that is what it was. If we had a plan to do something, if the partner decided that that wasn't comfortable for them anymore or they didn't want to do it anymore, they could veto it at any moment.
Yeah, that makes things kind of uncomfortable.
It
hard to
not
plan.
only uncomfortable, but it just made me feel like my time wasn't important to them because I would make time for them. I also have, you guys talked about with the poly and parenting, I have a daughter. So I have to and I only have her half of the time, so it's not the same as having a full-time kid, but I do have to, if I'm planning dates, my time is valuable to me, so if someone just decides off the cuff that, oh, I'm sorry, I got vetoed today, I can't actually do that anymore, it's just frustrating. So we tried that for like 3 months. We even tried to change it up and do a triad version of it where we were all partners, and that wasn't working either, so that we dismantled that relationship. But I'm still friends with both of them as well. So the good thing about poly, I feel like, is a lot of the time when you break up with somebody or if a relationship isn't working, then you have the ability to still be friends with them because you can actually have communication about why things aren't working and be understanding of that. So.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of curious as someone who, like, I've only been in monogamous relationships my whole life. And I've been thinking about poly and that whole transition. I was wondering what it was like going from monogamous to poly for you. Like, what kind of troubles were there? What kind of things did you figure out?
So for me, I was single when I started poly. I didn't start poly as a couple. And I feel like the transition is a lot different for couples than it is for someone who's single. I was single, so I was more like I could go on. I was still dating. I'd been dating for like 3 years. The biggest transition was talking to people that I was dating about what my lifestyle was. A lot of people aren't interested in polyamory, or they can understand it and they talk to you about it and they're like interested, but for them that's not really what's going to work for them, which is fine. So that's been the biggest thing, is being able to talk to people. It actually has been one of the best things. I feel like becoming polyamorous has been able to, or has made my communication better with people.
Yeah. It's the more I hear about polyamory, the more I'm like, it makes a lot of sense for my life in terms of how I've always thought about love, and it doesn't really have to attach to just one person and glom onto them. And it's not to say that monogamy is the wrong way to live, but it's in terms of how I've always considered love and thought about love. It's just made a lot of sense to me.
That's how I felt too. As soon as I heard about it, I was like, it was like this aha moment. I'm like, that's amazing. That's so cool that you can have a partner that will be excited if you are going out on a date with somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool to be able to talk to them about that and be like, I'm kind of digging this other person, and not have it be this like really, when you're in a monogamous relationship for the most part, it feels like it's really not okay to like have a crush on somebody else, or because then you're going out on your partner somehow, or you're not being true to them or whatever. But in my experience with polyamory so far, it's nice to be able to have really honest about who you are attracted to, or are having like good feelings about.
No, absolutely. This week, actually, ran across somebody who I told them about the show, the Brown Chicken, Brown Cow, what we're talking about. This month, we're recording all about the polyamory, and this person kind of like, oh, I know what that is. I'm like, yeah, it's, being able to date multiple people and having respect and open communication. She's like, I can't ever see myself doing that. Someone would be killed. I'm like, whoa.
It gets
Very
intense.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, I did my standard, That's not for everyone, I guess. But and I think that really does speak to kind of something. One of the things that you were mentioning there, the idea that polyamory can actually be, in some parts, freeing, because you're able to talk about, you like this person, you like that person, you like different things, and it lets you find your personal growth a lot easier, as well as breaking the connection. I won't say breaking, but understanding that there's another paradigm out there for relationships, right? Because we've all been brought up to think in movies and TV and our parents and history, and we all have to go find that one,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And we all know that it's sometimes we're rounding up, right? So it's something that's very interesting to talk about, that you can find something really special and awesome about someone that's completely different than this other person over here.
Right. It also takes the pressure of having to find that one person. I feel like people spend their whole lives like feeling bad about themselves because they haven't found that one person that's going to make them whole. Woo! And I feel like other people don't make you whole. You are a whole person yourself, and other people add value to your life because they're amazing people. But they're not the ones that make you whole. You are with you all the time, and you're the one that has to be good with you and be okay with you and live with you all the time,
And I think you just hit the essence of not only polyamory, but especially for solo poly.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're good with yourself, you understand what you're looking for, you understand what your time is, and you're willing to share that with someone else, so you're able to reflect on it a different way. So coming to it poly from a couple or coming to poly from a solo, they both are wonderful explorations of self.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm kind of curious, because it's kind of jumping into the stigma side of things, because I know before I heard about polyamory, the first time I heard about it, I didn't have the greatest reaction. I just kind of pictured it's like, oh, it's sex pits and, a bunch of people just randomly having sex with everybody and being cool with it, which if you want to do that, by the way, go get them. I don't know why I had a problem with that. So, but I was wondering about the stigma. Like, what are you currently out about being poly?
I am very open with people in my life. I talk to people at work actually about it. I read poly books, and if people see them and they're like, "What's that?" Or if I talk about going on a date with somebody, or I try to be as open as possible because I don't see anything wrong with it. And if people have questions, then they can ask. And I've had a lot of responses from people like, "That's really interesting. Tell me more about it." And then I get to like explain things and kind of give people an idea of how I feel about life in general, but about relationships and how people can relate to each other. I get a lot of people who are like, "I can never do that. I get super jealous," which is fine, but they still have an interest in it or want to hear about it. I haven't really had any super like negative responses from it. I don't go, I wouldn't say I like go out of my way to like push it on people. Like I'm not running up to everybody at my work and be like, "Guess what?
I'm poly.
Guess what? This is how it is." I don't do that, but like when I get to know somebody well enough, then we have conversations, and it's like kind of a natural thing. Like I'm pretty serious with the person that I am with now, and so that can lead to people asking me if we're gonna move in together or get married, and it's like, no, well, I won't, and that's not really what I'm interested in. I have my own life, and he has his own life, and we do our things separately, and then we get together, and we have a good time, and we enjoy each other's company, and we're important to each other, but I'm not gonna get married. That's not in my future for me. So
that's another thing. You don't have to be on the relationship escalator. It can level at whatever it should be, right?
The pressure of the escalator is awful. I feel like
dating, serious dating, engagement,
and
marriage.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
It's
like,
not just poly. It's just the whole concept of that escalation is unhealthy, and it drives a lot of people who aren't in love with each other to force things together.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you do.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's how love works. You just take two heads and you just...
Can I have the cow? Can I have the cow? I want to see if they're in love.
Yes, please.
Oh, they're in love.
Hooray for love!
Thank you, chicken.
Yeah, of course.
So there was one thing that you did mention, because you are fairly new to polyamory. And
Yes.
you mentioned that you read a few books. What are some of the books that you would recommend that our listeners check out?
So I've only read a few. There's a lot out there that people like to talk about, like the More Than Two, I think is one. I haven't read that one. I like to read about people's experiences with poly. So I read Polyland by Paige Turner, which was really interesting. I like I'm kind of like a cultural anthropology nerd, so I kind of like to get into what people are feeling and experiencing. That's more like my jam than reading kind of like the textbook style book. I have no idea if that's how More Than Two is, so I apologize for making that generalization. But so I've read that, and I'm also reading another book right now called The Smart Girl's Guide to Polyamory.
Oh, yeah.
By Dedeker, I don't remember her last, Winston, yeah. It's Winston, okay. So I started that. So I haven't read a lot on it, but I've been enjoying them so far. And I like the Polyland book, it was really good.
Well, Christina, thank you for coming on the show with us today.
Thank you for having me.
You were a blast. What? Barnyard? Oh, I'm sorry.
I got
The madam has corrected me. We need to pull this back.
Okay.
David.
Reel it in, guys.
Real quick, before we go to seeing Eddy and Rose perform, I was wondering if you could tell us, if you were a barnyard animal, or just any animal in general, what animal would it be? Don't give in to the pressure of forcing yourself to be a chicken or a cow.
I will not give into that pressure ever. You don't have to worry about that. I would be a mermaid. I'm a mermaid, definitely. 100%.
Right.
Mermaid, okay.
Yeah, mermaid.
All right. The tail is attractive.
Definitely a tail, yeah.
Is it
And
under the
shells,
sea? Is that it? Is that
And the song, being able
the
to
song?
sing all the
Yeah.
time.
All the singing.
Yeah.
Singing
And
Numbers.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Christina, for coming on the show.
Thank you
You know
for
what? A
having me.
couple weeks ago, I was able to sit down. We went to a taping. We went to a taping of Eddy and Rose, and they sang a few songs for us. We're going to play them for you right now. The three songs that you're going to hear are Again, Next Chapter, and Worth Less Time. They're amazing. They're sweet. They were wonderful, and you get to see my interview with them right now. Hi, guys. Guess what? I'm on location. We're recording from this fantastic space, learning about who you guys are through your music. And I was sitting on the couch over there just having a great time because it's like a personal show just for me. But can you tell me, let's start with you, Eddy. Can you tell me a little bit about your music style and the band itself?
Yeah, we get asked that question a lot, and it's never an easy answer for me. We play a lot of different styles of rock, like within the rock genre. We've had labels such as indie rock, indie alternative, Americana, ska-esque. When it's just the two of us, a lot of times we fall more into the indie category, indie singer-songwriter, I should say.
You actually played one of your own personal songs, or one that you wrote.
I did. I don't write very many songs, but I'm working on it. I haven't been playing music for very long. But the song that I wrote is called Again. And I wrote it because kind of in the whole vein of polyamory, like I want to fall in love again, but I don't want to hurt like myself or other people or like make problems. So it's like, hey, I want to do this, but I don't want to do this. Like that kind of like struggle there.
Tell me a little bit more about the band that's not here, the six-piece.
So the remaining members of our band that are not going to be in the Vodcast and podcast would be our drummer, Oliver. Oliver's son. He's the heartbeat, as I like to say. He brings a lot of different rhythmic juiciness to our band. We have a trumpet player who also plays guitar.
I like that term. He brings juiciness to the band.
Oh yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Our trumpet player, Alex Davey, he's one of my buddies from college. He jumps on the guitar every once in a while, but he primarily plays trumpet. He played in a ska band. He was also in a band called the Cosmonauts, which was a local band around here that played for a number of years. They might be getting back together. Just a shout out for that. Our guitar player, who is the newest member of our group, Jeff Dufresne, is one of our coworkers and bartender, music producer,
Nice.
And then last but not least is our bassist, Phil Moylan. He hides over in the corner, holding down our low ends. He's got the attitude. He's got the style.
You got to have an attitude when you're playing bass. I think
yeah.
that comes with. So I know you're local, at least in the Sacramento area, and you may have some gigs coming up. Where do you sometimes play that our people might be able to find you?
So our most, you'll find us frequently at the Glass Turtle in Roseville. It's off of Sunrise Boulevard. It's a nice little bar. Sammy, the owner, likes to put us up in there every couple months or so. So you'll probably catch us January, February time there.
I've done a few karaoke nights there, so yeah. I know that bar.
Yeah, it's a fun bar. It's a great time, no cover, really affordable prices on really good beer there. So it's nice.
And that was a commercial for the Glass
It
Turtle.
was. Yeah.
They don't know who I am. So anyway, on our exit here, anything else you would like to share?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, we can actually talk about the fact that here's an inside scoop. These two are a couple.
Oh yeah, there's
They've
that.
been together forever, and I'm just enamored with you two because you two are so cute. The story that they told me was adorable. I'm not going to give it away. You have to ask them in person. So when you see them out and about, find these guys out in the town. And also, where do they find you?
So if you guys want to catch when our shows will be, we have a Facebook page. It will be Eddy, that's spelled Eddy, like a swirling current, not like how most people spell Eddy. Eddy, Rose, and the Foreign Locals. And we'll be on Facebook. We also have an Instagram page. I believe it's maintained as just Eddy and Rose on Instagram.
We also have a Facebook page that is just Eddy and Rose as well.
Yeah, but definitely check out the Eddy, Rose, and the Foreign Locals page to see when our band's going to be playing next. I don't think, we don't do anything on Twitter yet.
No. We're going to have you back in a later time. And when we do, we're going to learn more about everybody else that's in the band, maybe get more people involved. And I had a great time today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We
Guys,
appreciate you guys.
You ready? Back at you in the studio.
The song is called Again, and it's a song that I wrote. 5, 6, 7, 8. Think I'll never let myself fall again. Sick of hearing no, let's just be friends. Oh, not again, not again. Sick of only loving like we're friends, but still I don't want this to be the end. Oh, not again, not again. I know I'll never let myself fall. No, I'll never let myself fall. Not again, not again. Wishing all my loving could be sent, but still I don't know just where it went. Let my mind bend, my mind bend. I really wanna fall in love again, and really don't want this to be the end. Oh, not again, not again. I know I'll never let myself fall. No, I'll never let myself fall. Not again, not again. Wishing that you'll give me a hand, hoping for just another chance. Let's start again, start again. I really want to fall in love again, but really don't want this to be the end. Let's start again, I think I'll never let myself fall. I think I'll never let myself fall. Not again, not again.
All right, this song's called Next Chapter.
Darling, darling, why are you walking away? Darling, darling, why are you walking away from me? Oh, there's nothing left to fear, no emotional baggage to clear. Darling, darling, why are you looking away? Darling, darling, why are you looking away from me? Oh, there's nothing left to fear, no collateral damage, my dear. I wanna start the next chapter, I'll avoid disaster. My heart is racing faster after you. Darling, darling, why are you turning your back? Darling, darling, why are you taking it back from me? Oh, there's nothing left to fear, all the voices are gone, my dear. But so are you. But so are you. And as they lie awake at night, they whisper softly through the light, and they take me away. And as they lie awake at night, they whisper softly through the light, and they take me away, 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 Darling, darling, why are you walking away? Darling, darling, why are you walking away from me? I wanna start the next chapter, and I'll avoid disaster. My heart is racing faster after you. I wanna start the next chapter, and I'll avoid disaster. My heart is racing faster
This song is called Worth Less Time, not worthless time, just to be clear. 1, 2, 3. I'm not angry with you. I'm mad. I'm not angry, no. Not angry with you. I'm just mad. 'Cause I was thinking you were worth my time. You weren't worth my time. No, no, no. You weren't worth my time. You weren't worth my time. No, 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 no. You weren't worth my time. You weren't worth my time. No, no, no. You weren't worth my time. You weren't worth my time. No, 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 no. Oh, no, 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 no. No, no. I don't really wanna be your bother. I don't pop my collar. I don't wanna holler at you. Don't have time to be your dollar or your trip father. 'Cause I'm feeling tall and brand new. Away from the pain, but I stayed when it hurt all day. You could have walked away from the pain, but you stayed when it hurt all day. You know you could have walked away from the pain, but you stayed when it hurt all day. Wish we would have walked away from the pain, but we stayed. We stayed. Not a waste of time, just not worth my time. Not a waste of time, just not worth my time. Not a waste of time, just not worth my time. Worth my time, worth my time, worth my time. No, not worth my time. I'm not angry with you. I'm mad. No, 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 no. I'm not angry, no. Not angry with you. I'm just mad. 'Cause I was thinking you were worth my time. You weren't worth my time. No, no, no. You weren't worth my time. You weren't worth my time. No, 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 no. You weren't worth my time. You weren't worth my time. No, no, no. You weren't worth my time. You weren't worth my time. No, 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 no. You weren't worth my time. You weren't worth my time. No, 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 no. Not a waste of time. Just not worth my time. No, 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 no. You weren't worth my time. You weren't worth my time. No, 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 no. Not a waste of time. Just not worth my time. No, 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 no.
Welcome back. This is the Brown Chicken Brown Cow Show. I'm Laura, and I'm here with our next set of guests, David and Jessi. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Jessi.
I'm Dave.
Yes, best introductions ever. So I think maybe we could start out with what you guys are both polyamorous. So what does that mean to you?
Well, I am married to my husband, Aaron, and we've been together for, I don't remember how many years, a lot. And we decided to open up our relationship about 5 years ago, and about 3.5 years ago, I met Dave, and we fell in love.
Dave, same question.
All right, I've been with my wife. We've known each other for about 20 years, been dating for 20 years, and we've been married for about 14. And I think it was about 5 years ago that, well, my wife was the first woman I ever slept with. I was the best monogamist for like many years. And so I was getting the itch pretty bad at one point in time. And I decided to try and suggest that we open up our relationship, and things kind of went from there. We were in the, well, I'll just say we were in another scene for a couple of years, and then she brought up the polyamory idea. She'd heard about it, and we thought, well, we'll try that. Yeah, so that's that story.
Sweet. So did you guys, I mean, you both kind of mentioned that you went from being monogamous to opening up your relationship. What kind of struggles did you face with that? I know when my husband and I opened up our relationship, we had a lot of ups and downs and struggles where things were fine and then they weren't, and a lot of jealousy or insecurity to overcome. Did you guys experience any of that, or did you want to talk to that a little bit?
I have really bad insecurity problems. I always feel like the other person is so much better than me. So I threw some pretty epic fits. I'm starting to calm down now, but for a while it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can definitely be hard. I don't know how long I've been polyamorous. That's bad. We're going to go with 4 years and guess that may or may not be right. And I think for the first 2.5 years, we went from everything being fine for like weeks on end, and then all of a sudden everything would be just the worst. Like I wasn't getting enough attention. I wasn't comfortable with my husband doing like anything with anybody else, which doesn't necessarily happen anymore. Sometimes we kind of switch those roles, but I think it's definitely hard to kind of get over that insecurity of my partner and my loved one is spending a lot of time with someone else. Like that must mean that they don't love me anymore, because that's what everybody's told me forever, so it must be true. And it's hard.
Super hard.
Any challenges on your end, Dave?
Well, yeah, there were a lot of challenges when we first started out. My wife and I just didn't read the books, didn't look at the websites, and so everything was as smooth as dumping a bunch of silverware downstairs. And so
that's what we did too. We should high five over that. Yeah. Don't do that. Read the books.
Yeah, please.
Read the books. Go to the
Go to
internets.
therapy, please.
Yes, therapy is good. Therapy is awesome.
But you were saying, so your wife and you.
Yeah, so, we kind of got over, I had to get over my rampant insecurity first with her and her partner, because she found someone first, and then I got into a relationship later. And she had her issues, and so we're kind of like staggered there. But her and I are pretty good now. I do get jealous of the fact that the supermarket takes a lot of precedence in our dating life. There's dates where it's like we want to go out on a date and we have that set time in the week and everything like that. But we really need some food, so.
So I wasn't sure you actually meant the supermarket. I was like, what does that stand for? Because I don't know.
The secret handshake, the code words, supermarket.
I'm really glad I'm not the only person who has that problem, because I come home and I'm like, we have 1 egg and rice. Let's go to the store.
Yeah, it's like I'm hot to trot, but I want food. So
yes, or I will be hungry tomorrow.
Yes, exactly.
It's very important.
We have no dinner, we have no breakfast, all that stuff. But it's a constant struggle, less so than it used to be. I kind of manage myself a lot more than I used to.
Mm-hmm.
He has some fun stories about not managing himself.
Yeah. So, yeah.
You don't have to tell it.
I don't have to
Just
tell all my
saying
stories.
No.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
keep it
a
very
complicated
secret. You'll
story,
never
but
know.
yeah, I've gotten better over the years. So.
So you guys actually, you all kind of live in one house. Can you?
Yes, we do.
Can you talk a little bit about how the decision process to all move in together and how that kind of works logistically?
Aaron and I own our house, and we've always had roommate, or not always, but we've let people come and live with us when they don't really have anywhere to go. And about a year ago, we needed some help, and Dave and Hannah were living about an hour away, and they were miserable, so I asked them if they wanted to live with us, and they said yes, and
the rest
Yay!
is now going along smoothly. So
ish.
ish, yes. So I lived in, when I was in LA, I was desperate to get out of LA, and then I went to the Bay Area, and I got stuck in this place called Fairfield, Suisun City. And as I was the first 6 months there, I'm like, I'm getting out of here within a year. And then 13 years later, I was living in Vacaville,
Wow.
and I was just like, going to Sacramento for different fun events and to see her a lot. And I just felt like I wanted to move to Sacramento. I just didn't know how. And then she offered for us to come live with them, and I decided that my master plan would be, because of course I would love, I wanted to live with Jessi, and then because one of the issues was at our dates I kind of fall asleep early in the wintertime, so it was like we would have to cut them short so I could survive the drive home to Vacaville, and then I thought, like, gosh, what if I was just walking down the hall, and that was awesome. And so I had to convince Hannah, who was perfectly fine in Vacaville. Our entire house was her sewing area. She's a costuming seamstress extraordinaire. And so she was fine, but I wanted to impress upon her the financial necessities and everything like that. So for her, a lot of it was finances and getting to Sacramento. And I made 3 promises to her. I said, you'll get a better job in Sacramento. You will get a boyfriend you will fall in love with in Sacramento. And what was the third promise? I feel like this is like the shack.
Those 2 are really big, so I hope you came through on that.
I came through with all 3. All 3 came through. I just got to remember what the third one was.
Oh, I think you had, that you guys would have more disposable income.
Yes, that all came
Perhaps.
true. All came to pass. So I'm really happy about that. My wife is very much in love with her partner, and I couldn't be happier for her. And that's, other than not having our own space, which is sometimes an issue with kind of like little things like the dishes. And
Isn't that pretty normal though? I feel like I'm always having a dish war at my house over who's gonna do the dishes and when. So it could be normal stuff.
Yeah, I'm a little more laid back about the dishes. I'm like, whenever, I'll do them when I, can't stand it anymore. And Hannah is not that way. She's like, Monday is my day.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Sunday's my day, Monday's her day, and then there's 2 days where you're supposed to do the dishes, and sometimes that happens.
I've got it calendared out, and there's only 2 people that live in my house. It's so that we can be committed to doing them, because half the time I don't want to do them, and the other half my husband doesn't want to. So.
Well, nobody likes doing it.
And so you guys have your partners that you live with, but you're not all partnered together, right? Mm-hmm. Does that kind of become hard living with your metamors and sharing that space? Other than the dishes issue.
It can be a little bit hard.
Or maybe challenging is a better word, not
It is,
hard.
it can be a little challenging.
It was at first with Hannah, because she immediately made a rule that our bed was like off limits suddenly, and so I was like, okay. And she explained it very well. She wanted her own personal space, feel like she had some space in the house that was hers. Mm-hmm. So that was cool.
We have a 3rd bedroom, so that's our.
That should be said.
I call it our guest bedroom, but everybody else calls it the sex bedroom. I'm classy.
You can also call it the snuggle room.
Ooh, the snuggle room as well.
There's snuggles that go on in there, yeah, leading to other things.
But guests do stay there too, because there's a bed in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes there can be little scheduling issues around the sex guest snuggle room as well. Yeah, we have one day a week that my wife and her boyfriend get that room, and there's one day a week that we get that room, and then...
And my husband has dated people that have their own apartments, so he goes to their places, which is handy.
So it's
Really
kind of
handy.
just kind of that like never-ending negotiation of what everybody feels comfortable with then?
Kind of, yeah.
It's not bad.
And the dogs.
Yeah, so you guys have dogs, and you have basically a barnyard filled with cats.
Yeah, we have 5 cats and 2 dogs, and I always want more. Every time I get kind of sad, I'm like, I need a new fur baby!
So how does
Yeah.
that work with new partners, or was it hard to kind of combine all your pets together?
Our 4 cats, no, not really. I mean, their cat stays in their bedroom. He's not really interested in coming out of their bedroom. I caught him in my bedroom one time, and he was terrified.
He's very antisocial.
And the dogs just want to be everywhere, so they don't really like that they're not allowed in their bedroom. But they're very social. They love everybody. They adopt our new roommate people, so they're their dogs now too.
Collie, your dog, Collie, the one that is most attached to you. There's Collie and Zero. Zero's a big black mutt type dog, and then Collie's a little shorter mutt type dog. Collie loves me. She comes out every morning when I'm up at 4 or 5, and she says hello. So
I think pets have an easier time with polyamory. They're like, yes, I will get more pets, and this person will feed me when nobody else wants to, and there's more treats, and you'll go outside with me. This is the best.
But they also, when you break up, they have a hard time.
Yeah.
It's sad because they get attached to your partners. So.
Wow. And I have one final question for you guys, because we are the Brown Chicken Brown Cow Show, and we live in the sexiest barnyard in the world. So if you guys were barnyard animals, what barnyard animals would you be?
I feel like I would be a capybara.
And for our audience members who do not know what that is, what's that?
They are the world's largest rodent. They're like a big, huge guinea pig, like a dog-sized guinea pig, and they're snuggly. And other animals come and snuggle them too. Like there's pictures on the internet with turtles laying on them and birds. Yeah, I would be the capybara because I'm very snuggly. Yeah. And I have animals laying on me all the time.
all right, and in your very strange barnyard, I think I would be Kermit the Frog with a microphone and a tan trench coat. That's what I'd like
That's
to be.
your Facebook picture sometimes.
On occasion, yes.
Is there an explanation that goes with being Kermit the Frog?
It's the only celebrity I can do the voice of, which I am forbidden to do, so.
All right.
No, you're not.
I will definitely not do that on recorded television or
This won't be the worst
podcast
thing
or
that's ever been on here.
podcast.
All right, we won't force you. Consent's important here. But anyways, thank you guys so much for being on the show. And I think we're going to move to a couple of words from our sponsors. So we'll be back in a few.
Hello, this is David Loretta Mola with the BCBC podcast. Now, I know you're sitting there thinking, what could David possibly tell me about condoms that I don't already know? Here's a fact. Do you get a condom that delivers to you monthly? I don't think you do. But if you order Lucky Blow condoms, they're great. They'll get you through whatever you need to do. And when you're done, no worries. There's no babies coming out of nothing. That's a fact. You can quote me on that. David Loretta Mola says, buy Lucky Bloke condoms. You'll never regret it.
Welcome back to the Brown Chicken Brown Cow Show. It's your host, Laura. I'm going to introduce myself again in case you forgot who I was in 5 minutes or less. I'm here with Monkey. He's back on set.
Hi, I'm back here for another 15 minutes. It's fantastic. 3 months.
I'm sorry. Do you want to introduce our guest in a semi-normal voice?
I certainly can. We have Kay with us here today, rather in this segment, yay. Want to welcome you to the show. You have a really interesting background. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your poly, and maybe a little bit about what you do.
Hi, my name is Kay. I've been married for 3 years. My husband and I have been polyamorous since before that, in the sense that most people understand, where you have primary, secondary, and that sort of thing. Although I personally subscribe to either labeling myself as non-monogamous or saying I'm a relationship anarchist, and I'm sure we'll go into that a little bit.
Tell us more about that whole relationship anarchy thing and what it is.
Relationship anarchy is where each relationship that you have is on its own level. So that includes friendships, that includes romantic relationships, and sexual relationships. So you kind of place people wherever they go. And I've been practicing that for longer than I've been practicing non-monogamy. So about 8 years. You could stretch it back to 12, but I wasn't doing it heavily, I guess. I have very, very strong friendships with my best friend and a couple of other people. Whereas people, when they see us together, they think that we're dating, but we're not dating. It's, not a thing.
So did that make the transition to like a non-monogamous lifestyle almost easier?
Yes. So when I grew up, my mom and dad, they were married, but my mom had a really close relationship with her best friend. Like, they were like me and my best friend. So it was something that I saw when I grew up, and it was right. So.
Awesome. Monkey, do you have any questions over there? You're very quiet.
I'm being very quiet, yes.
Yes. What's happening? Are you okay? Is the monkey taking care of you? Is the monkey taking care of Monkey properly?
Is the monkey taking...
I know, I'm really good with my words today.
I have no clue. He's speechless.
He's pretty cute, though.
Yeah. So some of the other things that are surrounding your relationship anarchy, that a lot of people have points of view, and there's basically two camps out there of poly, right? So in contrast, what would the other camp be like?
The other camp has a very specific hierarchy. So you have your primary, and that's usually your husband, your wife, your nesting partner, the person you're going to be with for a very long time. And then you have secondaries, which would be like boyfriend, girlfriend, that sort of thing. But that, I heard someone earlier say that also gives you like veto power, and it gives you, I don't know how to explain it. It sets up this idea that the primary could potentially say, I don't like your secondaries, they're gone. And that's never been something I've been okay with. So I can understand people coming into non-monogamy with that mindset because it makes it easier. But then, I still have where I know with my husband, our relationship is on a certain level because I'm with my husband. We're married. I'm legally bound to him, so it's a lot more difficult to get out of that relationship than, say, someone that I'm just dating. But I don't like closing off relationships completely and not allowing that sort of thing, and just saying, oh, it's a friendship, it doesn't matter. Because my best friend is very important to me, and if my partners can't get along with him, at least at a distance, it's not going to work.
Well, and I think, too, just to point out for not even necessarily hierarchical, the word I can never say. So if you kind of live in a hierarchy, it doesn't mean that you have veto power. I don't know that, I feel like there's a gray area between hierarchy and relationship anarchy, where you're kind of just doing what feels right. I know when we opened up our relationship, my husband and I, we were really more towards we were very much the primary couple, and then we might bring other people in and both date them, or he might date people, or I might date people, and we kind of had veto power that never really ended up happening, and then we were like, this is dumb, why would we want this? And also it makes you feel terrible that someone potentially at some point could say nope, well, you're done. It's all the relationship you get, and I think that maybe that works for some people to kind of work on some of those insecurities or jealousy issues and kind of set those boundaries, but for a lot of people it might not.
And I feel like that's actually the root of it, that if you're very insecure about your relationship, you're going to have those crutches, which in that case, if you can't talk to your partner, if you can't work through it, is it really something for you?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I think it's hard to open up and it's hard to define those boundaries for everybody, and we all have to kind of figure out what works best for us. And sometimes the answer is that it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So yeah.
I think another part of it is that you're supposed to figure out what you're okay with. So some people want to hear every detail, and other people don't want to know anything. And just, it's okay. It doesn't matter if you fall, left, right, or somewhere in the middle.
So I want to explore another aspect of polyamory that not a lot of people get to talk about. Some of the stuff that you do, you volunteer at a local organization. Can you tell us about the organization, what you do?
The local organization is Weave. Weave focuses on helping women and men who have experienced domestic violence or sexual assault. They have a 24-hour support line. You can call at any point, and they give you lots of resources. And they're that extra support that you need. They have counseling, they have legal help, they have advocates that can go with you to court, just to help give you that courage to say, I don't want to be in this situation anymore. And what I do specifically, I answer phones at support line, like most people who work there do. And I also go out when somebody gets called at the hospital or somebody goes into the hospital for being sexually assaulted. And so I sit there and give them all their resources, and I'm a person they can talk to or they can send away. So that's kind of bled into how I treat my relationships, because consent is tantamount. It's so important to me, and I go above and beyond to make sure that I have consent from my partners and to make sure that everything that I'm doing with them and everything that's happening with my other partners is cool with them. So, over-communicate.
Over-communicate. So this does pull into the aspect of something that's not talked about a lot in the poly community. If somebody who finds themselves in an abusive or struggling with their relationship, or they're feeling, sometimes they may not be talking to their other partners or something like that because of fear. Have you run across anything like this, or do you have suggestions for this group?
I've experienced this sort of thing, and I've talked to a lot of people about it. If you don't trust your partners, or if you've been in a situation where you've had your consent violated in any form, first, I'm very sorry that that's happened to you. It's not okay, and there's always someone there to listen to you. And if you're feeling like you can't trust your partner, I would start questioning whether or not you should be with that partner. If you can't be open and honest with them, it's not going to work. Or you're going to feel like you're walking on eggshells, and that's not something you want to do.
So could they reach out to an organization like Weave?
Yeah, they definitely can. They are mainly monogamous-centric, but they are open and understanding to alternative lifestyles.
Nice.
So.
And do you, just kind of a follow-up question to that, is words are really going to work for me. So you are pretty heavily involved in this group, or you volunteer pretty often. Is that something that being polyamorous has caused you to be more interested in, or is that something kind of you've taken with you and has shaped you since your kind of pre-non-monogamous days?
I mean, I've always felt that it's really important to volunteer for organizations that you feel struggling about. I'm of the belief that you need to pay it forward. So I wouldn't say that polyamory made me work with Weave more often, but it's definitely shaped the way that I've encountered and looked at my relationships since, and has actually strengthened my relationships with various partners, because I know that we've talked 1,000 times about, if I say no, that means no, and that means that I trust them unconditionally, unlike in the monogamous relationships where I didn't know if they'd be okay with me saying no. I felt like they might push back.
Right. So. Now, something else that you had mentioned to me before we came on the air was you love to write about all of this stuff.
Yes.
Okay. When asked to, when not asked to, you're writing all of these items. Tell us about some of the subjects you've written about, and then maybe where we can find them.
First, I'm an English major. What? So just so you know, writing essays is how I deal with my emotions. Nice. I'm a very, very thoughtful person, and I don't know, I like ranting too, and I like causing discord or creating discourse and discord too. I like that. So things that I write are generally my thought process. I'm fine talking about controversial topics because surprisingly, consent violation is a controversial topic. But what I mainly write about is jealousy, insecurity, trust issues, and someone that I'm seeing, or that I just started seeing, he's very new to polyamory, said that he'd be willing to give it a try. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to take it slow. And I've had a couple of relationships recently that have fallen apart because they say they're cool with poly, and then they're not cool with poly. That happens a lot more than you'd like. So I started seeing him, and I greeted one of my partners like how I do, which I guess is a little intense for some people. And so he sat down with me and had a conversation about how it made him feel and how he wasn't okay with certain things, and could he please get a little bit of time to get used to it. And it made me remember when I first got into like polyamory and in the sense that we know it, it was really tough, and I dealt with jealousy, and I dealt with insecurity, and overall I had to learn these are okay emotions, and that there's nothing wrong with it. It tells me there's something we need to talk about, and there's something that we need to kind of figure out together. And I know what the pattern is now in my head. I know which are irrational bits of insecurity and jealousy, and what is something I need to talk to my partner about. So it was just interesting to see that change, and that made me go on a tirade. So.
Are any of your writings online that we can find?
They're generally on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
So
that would be only if you know Kay.
Yes.
Okay.
But you bringing up that question makes me kind of want to post them on a blog.
There you go.
Because of course, I need another blog.
You need another
Probably.
blog. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
That's probably not a good thing.
5 blog a day habit. Yeah, you'll be fine. Right?
I do post on the whiteboard at the house like all of the things I want to talk about, and like what's making me angry right now. And I will write 5 pages on it and then post it.
And so says an English major.
Essays are fun. I don't know why people don't get that. It's
Essays are fun.
It's relaxing.
Oh dear, Monkey started to dance now. He's stuck like that forever. So while Monkey is sitting like that, since he can't move, if you were a barnyard animal, what would you be?
So when I heard this question, I was like, oh, I'd be a goat because I like standing on things. I realized, no, I'm going to be a cat, as I mentioned while we were just chatting. I have a cat onesie, and I do like sleeping in it all day, curled up in the bed, and it's very warm.
Meow. That sounds great to me too. So maybe do we think Monkey's gonna unfreeze it all this segment? You might stay there. I don't know.
It was pretty impressive.
In the 30 seconds that we have left. Oh dear.
What happened?
She's a goat cat.
You're a goat cat.
Goat's pretty serious.
Meow? No. I don't know what that is. Meow. You don't want to be a goat.
There you
cat.
go.
Okay.
That's what that is.
Well, welcome back.
Did we have any other questions?
I have no more questions.
Perfect. I think with that, we're going to hear more from our sponsors and then come back to the spelling V.
The BCBC spelling V. Hi guys, this is Sean Monkey McEnany, Monkey for short. What you need to know now is that brown chicken, brown cow needs your love. It needs your help, and personally, we could use your money. But short of that, what you need to do is go out and like our Facebook page. Number 2, give us a review on whatever podcast ability you have. Go out to iTunes, go out to Google Play, give us a good review because that helps. Number 3, subscribe. Subscribe to our podcast because that helps our numbers, helps us with advertisers, helps us with everything. It makes us look good, actually. And number 4, and this is very important, come close to the speaker. It's fantastic. you can go out to Patreon and support us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/BCBC podcast. You can support us at whatever level of support you think you can manage. I don't want you to give us money if you can't do it, but I want you to give us some money and we'll give you back some love as well. We'll give you back some stuff. We'll talk about you on the radio, who knows. But in the end, supporting us helps keep the show going. Subscribing to the podcast gives us better numbers. And liking our Facebook page, guess what? You always know when the show's coming. So, this is Monkey. You're you. We are together. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Fantastic. See you on the next show.
Welcome back to the Brown Chicken Brown Cow Show. You're about to join us for the Brown Chicken Brown Cow Spelling Bee. I'm the professor, and here's the madam to explain the rules.
The rules are extra fun because this is pop quiz time to see what you learned this today. Yes, you should be afraid, Jessi. You don't get a donut if you fail.
I will steal you a donut. It is okay.
Thank you.
We'll get out of this, guys, somehow.
What if we both fail?
Each one of you
Everywhere,
will be
it's fine.
given a word. You may ask for the definition of the word, or if you know it, you can tell us. If you fail to get the word correctly, one of your companions can steal the word and get the point from you. Once the word has been correctly spelled, if not by you, then by the professor, you can use the word in a sentence correctly to get an extra point. The person who gets the most points gets to choose the donut first today. The person in last place gets no donut.
Wow, that's harsh.
Right.
You didn't tell us that before we started filming.
Yeah,
Is that really the rules? Wow.
That as part of
That
the
was
deal
not.
being
I'm
on the
not
spelling
consenting
bee.
to that.
All right. Are we ready?
Yeah, the chicken's holding my hand. I'm good.
Ready as I will be.
Well, let's start it off with something really challenging. David,
Yeah.
please spell the word comet.
Comet. That will be C. Oh, actually, can I get a definition of that?
You may.
Because we're probably not talking about astronomy.
Colloquial. An occasional lover who passes through one's life semi-regularly but without an expectation of continuity or a romantic relationship. Comet.
Comet. Okay, I'll go with my original idea of the spelling. C-O-M-E-T.
That is correct.
Yes! The
Well
donuts are
done.
mine.
We still have the rest of the game.
I thought it was just one question.
Jessi.
Yes.
Doesn't he get to use it in a sentence, Professor?
Oh, that's right. My mistake. If you can
yeah.
use it in a sentence, that's a little bonus.
Wait, you just gave him the definition.
What she said.
But he has to use it in a sentence, in
That's the
context.
tricky part of English. You can know what a word means. So, I was dating a wonderful person, and then they left me. Turns out they were a comet.
Ho! Thank you very much. Jessi, are you ready?
Pretty much just
Yes,
said
I
the
am ready.
Your word is adelphogamy.
Okay, I'm going to point out that was way harder than David's word, which was comet.
One of us is poly and the other is mon. That would be intensely unfair. I did not rig this
Could you
whatsoever.
repeat the word, please?
The word is adelphogamy.
Donut is mine.
Okay, could you please use it in a sentence?
No, that would be your job. But
Okay, wait.
But I will
what
give you
are
the
my
definition.
options?
Again, defining.
The definition
Can you define
is
it, please?
a definition is a specific form of polyandry, practiced historically and occasionally still practiced in some portions of Tibet and Nepal, in which a set of brothers is married to the same woman. Adelphogamy. Please spell the word.
Could it also be something that Adele practices? All right, cool.
Probably.
Adelphogamy.
That is correct.
What the fuck?
Would you like to go for the bonus and use it in a sentence?
No. Wasn't paying attention, was busy panicking.
Could you define it again?
I will totally use it in a sentence. I just successfully spelled somehow adelphogamy. Judges?
I'll accept it.
That is accepted.
I'm not a judge,
Excellent.
but I'll accept
The
it.
clapometer says yes.
Great.
Laura,
Yep.
your word is demisexual.
Oh, you better get this right or else I'm judging you.
Can you define that for our audience?
A person who is demisexual feels limited and typically context-dependent sexual attraction. Demi means halfway between asexual and sexual.
I agree.
Cool. So it's DEMI. sexual.
That is correct.
Woohoo.
Can you use it in a sentence?
I am a demisexual. You didn't say it had to be a good sentence.
That's true.
As clearly demonstrated by the last word.
Professor, when I slipped the 20 in your pocket, you were supposed to make it hard on them.
Well, I'll give you a tough one now, David.
Oh, thank you.
Just to keep it in context here.
I get points though, right?
Oh yeah, you
Oh,
get
just
points.
just checking.
Somebody's keeping track. Madam,
We're
you're
all
keeping
tied.
track of the points, yes? Thank
3
you.
points, I think.
David, your word is frubble.
Oh, yay! Okay. Frubble. I mean, of course, please give me the definition of that.
A pleasant emotion of happiness arising from seeing one's partner with another partner. See also compersion, which we may get to.
I thought a frubble was like a fan fiction of the Flintstones where Barney Rubble and Fred Flintstone get together.
Yes, that's what I thought too.
I'm glad I'm not the only weirdo.
That would be
Here. There you go, pig.
Flintstone /fic for the win.
So a frubble, and in fact, I will go with what the spelling of that would be, which is a F-R-U-B-B-L-E.
That is correct. Well done, David. Are you going to use that in a sentence? You kind of did.
I'm in quite a frubble.
We're apparently only using
Sorry that is not the
Dang it.
Can I use
No,
it?
yes, you can.
Oh,
Jessie.
excellent. I feel frubble when I see my partner with his wife.
Well done, Jessie Lee. I think you'll appreciate your next word, Jessie Lee. Your word is egalitarian, which means a situation or relationship that is fair. One hopes you see the irony. Egalitarian.
E-G-A-L-I-T-A-R-I-A-N.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And would you like to use that in a sentence?
Yes, I strive to make all of my polyamorous relationships egalitarian.
Well done.
points.
Yay.
Are you posing over there? No. All right. Good. I was very worried. We don't pose here.
Laura.
Mm-hmm.
Could you please spell the word metamor?
Probably.
And could you actually do it as well?
Yeah, I'm getting to that. Can I have a definition? My metamor waved to me from across the room just now. I got distracted.
A metamor is the partner of one's partner with whom one does not share a direct sexual or loving relationship.
Whew, so metamor is M-E-T-A-M-O-U-R, metamor.
That is correct.
And I already said my sentence with metamor in it, so can we just count that? Or do I have to come up with another one?
I think so. Can I get a second on that, madam? Very good.
I can come up with more, but save time.
I thought Metamore was like a Paramore cover band.
Sometimes.
David.
Why is he here?
I don't know why. I'm just going to drink water.
David, your next word is polycule. Would you like the definition of that?
Oh, please, yes.
It's a romantic network or a particular subset of relationships within a romantic network whose members are closely connected. Also used to describe a sketch or visualization of such network.
And could I get the etymology of that word?
Poly meaning many, cule derived from the word molecule.
Gave me exactly what I was looking for. Perfect. That would be Polycule.
That is correct. Can you use it in a sentence?
I have a polycule with multiple people.
That was a longer sentence this time. I'm impressed.
Words. Good.
It was going great up until he didn't put a period at the end and then added
With
words good.
Fish.
Sorry, but we're going to have to take away that point.
Dang it!
As the madam is subtracting the point from David's score for incorrect grammar, we're moving on to Jessie Lee with her next word, polytrothism. Would you like the definition, Jessie?
Yes, I would.
The state or practice of maintaining multiple egalitarian relationships, each of which is equal. Sorry?
I'm sorry, please continue.
The state or practice of maintaining multiple egalitarian relationships, each of which is equal with respect to decision-making and other practical matters. Polytrothism.
Polytrothism. Polytrothism.
Well done.
I went to college.
And would you like to use that in a sentence?
I would. My partners and I practice polytrophism in our relationships.
Polytrophism.
Look how
I
cute
think
I am.
that works.
Thank you.
That works. Laura, your next word is wibble.
I love wibbles so much. Please tell everybody what they are.
Wibble. A feeling of insecurity, typically temporary or fleeting, when seeing a partner being affectionate with someone else. Wibbly, or related to wibble, as seeing these two together makes me feel wibbly. You can't use that sentence now.
I can't unsee that.
Yep. Nope, you can.
Wibble.
W-I-B-B-L-E.
You are correct. And would you like to use it in a sentence?
I would. I just had a wibble when I saw my metamor lick my partner's head.
Nice. Well done.
Can we add to the monkey blushometer? Because he is hardcore blushing.
You probably do that at least 4.
Let's move on.
Back to
David.
The superstar who is clearly in the lead. Please don't show the score.
Yeah, why can't we see the score?
We'll give David a tricky one this time.
Oh, thank you. Good.
Dyad.
Dyad. A dyad. I can assume what it means, but please tell me.
Dyad is. Sorry, give me a moment. Okay. A dyad is a relationship involving exactly 2 people. The most accepted form of romantic relationship in most Western countries is a monogamous dyad.
Oh, okay. So that would be a D-I-A-D.
I'm sorry, that is an incorrect spelling. Did anybody see whose hand? Laura was up
It was
first.
definitely Laura, yeah.
Laura?
I'm going to go with D-Y-A-D.
That is correct.
Oh,
And
like
then does Laura get to do the sentence?
Actually, David gets first crack.
Very good.
If he can do it.
Oh, good. A dyad involves 2 people.
Bitch!
Don't you like when he repeats your sentences back?
God damn it!
Can we go with an original sentence?
Yeah. I am monogamous, therefore, when I enter into a relationship, I am entering into a dyad, which is spelled with D-Y, not a D-I.
Well done, sir. Jessi,
Yeah.
She's starting to regret being in the middle.
your word is limerence.
What the fuck, man? Okay, could you please define that?
I would be happy to. A strong desire for, longing for, or preoccupation with another person, accompanied by a sometimes overwhelming desire for reciprocation. Limerence is distinct from new relationship energy in that it is more akin to what people commonly call a crush. Limerence.
Could you give me the etymology of the word?
Please.
Incomplete research here. The term limerence was coined by Dr. Dorothy Tenov, who described it in her book Love and Limerence, The Experience of Being in Love.
It's a tough one, man.
Cool. Limerence. Limerance.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect.
Of course it is.
Laura?
I would like to. I'm going to go with Limerence.
That is incorrect. David, would you like to take an attempt?
Limerence.
I'm sorry, no one spelled the word
Can
correctly.
you tell us how to spell it?
The correct spelling of the word is Limerence.
Limerence. Not limerance. I'm correcting myself on my piece of paper. Like.
You do have the opportunity to make a point back, though.
Oh, excellent. When I spend time away from my partner, I sometimes feel limerence for him.
I think we're going with that, right, madam?
Yes, we are.
Absolutely.
Seems acceptable.
It is not a rhyming
Does
poem.
seem acceptable. What did it have to?
I did say
said anything
limerence,
about
not
rhyming.
limerick.
Limerick, yeah.
And for our last question of spelling bee,
Yay.
Laura, let's. Yes. Polyfuckery. Would you like the definition for that one?
I would absolutely love the definition of that.
Colloquial, vulgar term, often derogatory, a coarse term sometimes used to describe people who call themselves polyamorous while engaging in a large number of sexual relationships which are short-lived or not emotionally intimate, as Bob practices polyfuckery.
That's unfair. You just used my sentence before I said it out loud.
I'm so sorry, but you still have to spell it.
Fine. It's Pollyfuckery.
That is correct.
She shouldn't get a point. She said F you, and that's disrespectful.
That guy's polyfuckery is really messed up.
Very good. That is an acceptable sentence. And that was the final question. Yes, madam.
It was the final question.
And the...
Jessi looks like she has something to say.
I do.
I'm sorry?
I just want to review the words. David, what are some of the words that you got?
Dyad. Hexagonal.
No, you didn't get that.
Purple. He also had purple.
Persephone.
No one had that.
Nope. I got comet as well.
Trouble, I believe.
I can't help but notice because you've written them down. You have a few complicated ones. Just a couple.
Let me just review my words.
Yeah, please do.
Don't break the paper.
Adelphogamy.
That's reasonable. Yeah.
Egalitarian.
You did go to college.
Polytrophism. Limerence.
Not seeing the
Can you use all of those in a sentence?
I feel set up. I deserve 2 donuts. Hold up. I will make you a deal, Professor. If I can use all of these in one sentence, I win this game. Because I was set up and it's unfair.
But like a good sentence.
I think that's a worthy challenge.
If you do that in a grammatically correct sentence, you can get 2 points, which will take you to the win.
Fuck yeah, okay.
Okay, wait, before we do that. The current standing is Laura with 9 points, Jessi with 8, David with 5. So yes, Jessi, with your 2-point bonus sentence o doom, you could indeed win the game.
And it must make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you remember what they all meant?
Maybe.
She did go to college.
Okay, I regret saying that. Even though it's true. Okay. The traditional practice of adelphogamy was not the most egalitarian relationship structure when contrasted with polytrophism because it often led to limerence in the participants.
Ding, 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 ding. Winner!
Suck my dick! Sorry, I got excited.
It got really intense.
I got really excited.
That was our first episode of the Brown Chicken Brown Cow Show, Spelling V. Please visit us another time for another episode in which we will continue to abuse and harass Jessi mercilessly.
Hi, this is not egalitarian.
Nope. But the reward for this is the very first choice of the donut during donut time, which is coming up right next.
Can't wait.
Diet should be spelled with an I.
Welcome back to Brown Chicken Brown Cow. I am one of your co-hosts, Monkey. You just watched the very first episode of Spelling V. You won. Why
I'm
are you
good.
so upset?
I'm not upset. You guys are projecting.
You can't get first donut and be upset.
I'm not upset. God.
I got dyad. That was a really hard word.
So, in the spirit of donut time and winning, Jessi, here is your donuts. Look at them all. They're gorgeous. They're special. They're lovely.
I didn't know I would be rushed. Thanks. Thank you.
And then our other contestant gets to pick his donut.
I'm just going to make sure it's above your head so you can't see what they are.
I'll go with this one. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, we're eating them? Okay.
Yeah. You know the game. It's easier to talk with food in your face. So, today we learned a lot about polyamory and a lot of different aspects and ways people do polyamory.
I learned some new words.
Well, yeah.
Me too.
Like diet.
Diet.
Not going to forget how to spell that one soon.
Poly-
Oh, jeez. So, we learned about solo poly. We learned about people doing poly in a household and living together.
Polyparenting.
Polyparenting. Resources in case you're in a poly environment that may not be healthy or abusive.
Learned a little bit about relationship anarchy.
Yeah. And I learned that the English language is wrong.
English is
Wrong.
canceled, everyone.
Yeah.
Just FYI. Well, I'm really glad that we had this episode. I feel closer to all of you now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I see how it is. But we also had some amazing music on this episode.
We did. Eddy and Rose did an amazing job.
What was it? Can you say that again?
That's
That's perfect. Eddy and Rose did an amazing job. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Thank
really
you too so much for coming on.
Just to comment on Eddy and Rose.
Mm-hmm.
You may have listened to their music all month long. In fact, there was an episode in one of the podcasts just earlier this month where they sang a song to Jessi.
Oh,
That was really sweet.
Yeah.
the reverie.
That's really cute. I'm honored. I am honored. Yep. I had another thing to say, but I can't remember what it was.
Eat some sugar.
Great. That's a
If
great.
this is the first episode you're catching, go back and watch all the other episodes.
No.
They're all the podcasts, all the nuggets.
Do it now.
You can find them on YouTube. You can find them also on iTunes. Go out and definitely give us a review.
Give us a review.
Give us a 5-star review if you like us. Don't give us any reviews if you don't like us.
If you don't like us,
Why are you listening?
question yourself
Oh.
and your judgment.
What? This is a poly shirt with frosting on it.
That's the polyamory symbol.
Polyamory symbol.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea that's
See?
polyamory.
We got the infinity loop with a nice heart.
I didn't
I
wear
just learned
any
something
polyamory
new.
stuff today.
Neither
Man.
did I.
These are the people I'm working with. This is fantastic. I didn't do any of the things. Oh.
Sorry, I had chocolate on my hand. I'm sorry. I'm still a human.
It's hard to have donut time and not make a mess while you're doing it, but dear God, that napkin is just ruined.
This one?
Yeah.
I literally
Look at it. Just show that to the camera. Stop playing with these people. It's ruined.
You're welcome.
And you may notice the stage manager's actively cleaning up the stage as every crumble is dropped.
That stage manager is really on top of it. Yeah. Thank you to our guests who came on today, by the way.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
It was great.
I'd like to thank Kay for talking about her poly universe and
Thank you, Kay.
the things she does for the community. Christina
H.
H.
Now her name is Christina H.
Triple H. Coming to theaters this July.
Who else did we have on?
We had Robert and Sabrina on. We had Jessi and Dave on. I think those are all the people we had on.
That's all the people.
And then we were on.
We were on.
Yeah.
And of course the professor and Madam, the voices
Yeah.
therein. So
They appear from the sky, and it terrifies me.
Thank you very much.
shit. There it is again.
I can't sleep anymore.
Yeah, you can't sleep anymore.
Also, our stage manager, Ein.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stage manager's still doing
stage managery things.
pushing around a broom.
Did we mention
our
our
small tongue?
Did we mention our Patreon?
We have not.
You should check out our Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Go to www.patreon.com/BCBC podcast. Is that right?
That's it. That's pretty good. We also have a YouTube channel.
We do. YouTube.com/
No,
I'm already wrong.
just search for Brown Chicken Brown Cow on YouTube.
So I was right. I was done with my sentence. I said go to youtube.com/.
Yeah.
And that will take you to
To
YouTube.
the BCBC podcast.
However,
immediately
if
just
you
go
want to
to
make it
YouTube.com.
easy enough for Jessi to know what our YouTube channel is, subscribe because once we get 100 subscribers, we get our own channel name.
And I get another donut, I've been told.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I stole one for you.
It's in my contract.
What flavor did you want?
There's contracts?
All of them.
Raspberry.
Oh, geez. Can we start the music back up again? There's another round of. Okay.
No, I'm good. I'm trying to
Yes.
cut back on sugar. The irony. I'm good. I was kidding. It was a joke. I was doing it for the
She's
camera.
still working on this one, I think.
I'm a tiny person. but
You're a tiny
I
person?
can only put food in my mouth so fast.
Yes, but I've seen how much food.
I don't know.
And here we are again. So next month.
Yeah, what's going on next month?
You know what are we doing?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. So many things in my head. Starting next week, we're actually doing the whole non-monogamy and aspects around medical, law, counseling. So we're talking about not only deeper into some of the aspects, for example, polyamory, so it's going to stretch out into there, but all the relationships that are non-standard and
Alternative.
Those type of aspects. So we have some really great guests coming on that month, and I really want you to come back and join us because it's going to be another full month of information, a lot of fun. And David will be practicing on his letters.
I will, and my numbers. I'll be good.
Good job, David.
I didn't blush there. I'm up to 12. Hey!
Yay!
Hashtag get blushed.
Get blushed. If you remember nothing else from this episode, please just remember get blushed.
Cool.
Are we done?
I think we're done. I think we're done. I actually wanted to tell you guys about some of the problems I've been having and just get your opinions on it.
Absolutely. What's going on?
Tell us more.
I just feel it's hard.
It is very difficult, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that was joking.
How hard is it?
Let's please end this now.
You know you can tell us. This is a safe space.
Just roll the credits, just it comes down.
No, don't. No, don't put them on my face. That's not fun.
Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Have a good day.
Jessi, open up.
Tell me about your
And
mother.
cut. Cool.
Jessi made me, so I think if I don't get to a point.
I guess that's our bonus round.
Yes.